There are days that take you back, not to the past, but to that part of yourself that was before everything, before seriousness, to the moment when you decided that you were already an adult and now you had to behave accordingly. Today was such a day. It began with you coming into the camper van kitchen and saying, with that serious expression of yours that meant something completely unserious, "Today we will be children." I looked at you over the top of my mug. What does that mean? It means no schedule. We don't have to make it. We just do whatever we want to do. I thought for a second. "Okay," I said, "but finish your coffee first. Children drink coffee too." You said seriously, "No, they don't. These drink." We laughed at the same time. The day began. Jungle Island is a place where you realize that nature is more intricate than any fantasy. We entered and immediately found ourselves in another world. Greenery everywhere, thick, tropical, but growing quickly and confidently. The smell of flowers and moist earth. Sounds, birds, many birds, each louder than the last, and then a parrot, big bright red with blue wings. He sat on a perch and looked at me with an expression that means, "I'm the boss here." I stopped. He tilted his head. "Hello?" I said. "Hello." He answered clearly and clearly. I jumped from surprise. You laughed, loudly, throwing back your head. "He talks," I said. "He talks better than some people." You confirmed. The parrot looked at you. "Hello?" he said again, pleased. We were allowed to hold the birds in our hands, and I reached out without thinking. Just like that, childishly, a small green parrot landed on my finger, light, warm, with those claws that tickle a little. I stood still and looked at it. "You breathe," you said quietly. "I breathe," I whispered. "It's just that it's so alive." "Yes, alive." You took a picture. That moment where I stand with the bird on my finger and look at it with that expression that only children and lovers have. Then the parrot decided that he was tired of my finger and flew to your shoulder. He sat there confidently, like a master. "Now you are his," I said. "Birds always like me," you said absolutely seriously. "Lemurs are a separate story. Small, with those big eyes that take up half of their faces, with tails in a black and white stripe. They ran around the fenced lawn and were absolutely not afraid of people. One came up to me and sat next to me, just like that, by himself, without invitation. I sat down. He looked at me with those huge eyes. "He thinks you are one of them," you whispered behind my back. "I am one of them," I answered, just as quietly. The lemur stretched out a small paw and touched my knee, carefully, studying. I froze. He touched it again and moved away, as if he had checked and was satisfied with the result. I stood up and turned to you. There was that warmth in your eyes, the kind that comes when you see me happy. "You're beautiful when you look at me like that," you said quietly. "How?" "Childishly," you answered. "Without protection, just open." I went up and kissed you, just like that, in the middle of that clearing with lemurs around. A soft, quick kiss that meant, "I heard, and thank you for seeing." Everglades after lunch, we were driving there, a familiar road, but one that leads from the city to another Florida, where nature is not tidy and not well-groomed, but real, wild, its own. The airboat was waiting at the pier, flat, with a large fan at the back. The captain, a tanned man in sunglasses, briefly explained the rules. "Hold on, don't lean, don't touch the water." "Why don't you touch it?" I asked. "Crocodiles," he said simply. I looked at you. You knew, I said. I knew. You agreed. But you wouldn't have gone if I had told you sooner. You didn't say it right, I replied after a pause. The airboat started moving, and I didn't expect it to be this fast. We were flying over the water, literally flying, the fan roaring, the wind whipping in my face, the reeds on either side flashing. I grabbed your hand, not out of fear, but out of excitement. You were staring ahead with that expression I love so much. Alive, completely here. Then the captain slowed down, and we glided quietly through the dark water. The silence after that roar, sharp, thick. Look to the left, the captain said quietly. I looked. A crocodile. A large one, longer than a man. It lay on the shore, as still as a log, only its eyes, lively, yellow, looking at us without any interest. I squeezed your hand. You squeezed back. Don't be afraid. I'm here. Beautiful, you whispered. That's not the word I would have chosen, I whispered. You laughed softly. The crocodile blinked, slowly, majestically, and turned away, as if we had disappointed him with our lack of interest. He ignored us, I said. We're too small for him, the captain said philosophically. But the best thing about the Everglades, not the crocodiles. When the airboat stopped in the open water, completely, the engine turned off, and that silence came. The real silence of the swamps. The reeds rustle in the wind, birds scream somewhere far away. The water is dark and still. And you took my hand, just like that, without words, and we sat and listened. I thought, this is it. This is the nature that has existed for millions of years. That was here before us and will be after us. And we are two small people in a small boat in the middle of it all. Small, but alive. But together, but happy. Thank you for bringing me here, I said quietly. Thank you for going, you answered. In the evening, Little Havana again, but this time with a different purpose. We found the place in advance, a small dance school that opens its doors to everyone on Thursdays. Salsa lesson for beginners, free, just come. The hall is small, with a wooden floor and mirrors on the walls. There are already people, different, of different ages. Some clearly know how, and some clearly don't. We clearly don't. The instructor, a woman in her 40s with that fire in her eyes that people who live by music have, came out and began without further ado. Salsa's a conversation, she said. He leads, she answers, but both are listening to the music. She turned on the music and laid down. The first 10 minutes, chaos. You counted out loud, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, with that serious expression that appears when you learn something. I looked at my feet and stepped on yours. You didn't complain. Don't look down, said the instructor as she passed by. Look at him. I looked up. I looked at you. You looked at me, and in your eyes there was that warm and playful look that I love so much. 1, 2, 3, you said quietly. I lead, you answer. You said you couldn't, I reminded you. I learned quickly, you answered. And indeed, after 20 minutes we were moving. Not perfectly, not like the locals, but together, in rhythm. And then we went outside, and there was a challenge. One of the young people turned on the music from the speaker. Miami style, fast, rhythmic, with that bass that you feel with your whole body. And that street dance began. Someone showed the movement. Others repeated it. You looked at me. No, I said immediately. Yes, you said. I can't. No one can, you said. That's why it's interesting. He came out first. He just got into a circle and started repeating, awkwardly, with that seriousness that made it funny and cute at the same time. Someone laughed. Well, fun. Someone supported. I looked at you, at that man who a year ago was hiding behind a laptop, and my heart was filled with such tenderness and joy that I couldn't stay away. I came out next to him. We danced in the middle of a Miami street, ridiculously, crookedly, with laughter that prevented me from moving. Around, strangers who supported and applauded. The music was booming. The night air was warm and salty. And at some point, you took my hand and turned me towards you, and we no longer repeated other people's movements, but simply danced our own, slower, closer. You leaned into my ear. Today is the best day, you whispered. You say that about every day, I answered. Because each one is better than the last, you said simply. I looked at you in that Miami night light with music all around and strangers dancing next to you, and I kissed you. Long, tender. That kiss that starts with gratitude and turns into something more. That says, I'm glad you're here, that we are, that we decided differently. Someone whistled approvingly. We laughed into a kiss, just like that first time in Little Havana. Returning to the camper van, late, tired, I thought about this whole day. The parrot that answered me, the lemur that touched my knee, the crocodile that ignored us, the silence of the swamps, salsa in a small hall, street challenge to the Miami night, and you in each of these moments. The one who counts out loud 1, 2, 3, the one who comes out first in the circle, the one who holds my hand near the crocodile, the one who says, every day is better than the last. Do you know what I realized today? I said already near the camper. What? That the child in me has not gone anywhere, I said. It was just hiding, behind seriousness and work and the feeling that I have to be an adult. You looked at me. And what now? Now I will not hide it, I said. She is needed, this part that looks at the lemur and freezes, that is afraid of the crocodile and goes anyway, that comes out to dance when it can't. You were silent for a second. Then he said quietly, I am in love with her, with both of you, both the adult and the child. I looked at you and could not find the words. I just leaned in. He hugged me, tightly, reliably as always. Miami was buzzing around, and we stood by our white camper van and held each other. Listen, that child you had, she didn't go anywhere. She's just waiting. As long as you let her out. Let her out, go out and dance when you can't. Laugh at yourself. Be funny and alive and open. That's what wholeness is. That's what happiness is. That child knows the way. Trust her. Thank you for being here. Until next time. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our interesting stories.